Hello, friends. Today we are going to talk about the person with the highest level of mental toughness in the world, David Goggins. This is the man who lost more than 300 pounds 3 different times in his life, became a U.S. Navy SEAL, a U.S. Army Ranger, and an Air Force tactical air controller. Today, he is an ultramarathon runner who finished a 240-mile race with bone-on-bone knees. But Goggins' story is not just about physical achievements. It is a living example of how far the human mind can go through pain. He was an abused child, a stuttering, overweight kid who transformed himself into the mentally toughest man in the world. And for the first time on the Joe Rogan podcast, he revealed secrets that were never written in his books. The painful incident of meeting his father, the story of his mother marrying a prisoner, jealousy and backstabbing inside the SEAL teams, the details of his knee X-rays and surgeries, the concept of mental aid stations. So without wasting any time, let's begin. Daily grind and mental aid stations. First of all, Goggins talked about his daily routine. He wakes up every day at 4 a.m. and runs 20 miles, despite the fact that his knees are bone on bone, and even after having metal plates installed, he still runs. Goggins' unique concept, mental aid stations. Shower mental aid station. When I'm in the shower, I don't think about anyone. I don't think about work, and I don't think about running. Car mental aid station. Even while driving the car, I get a mental break. Eating mental aid station. While eating food, I also get a mental reset. Goggins' philosophy. I can grind this hard because throughout the day, I get mental aid stations. These are mini vacations that recharge me. Sense of responsibility. Joe Rogan asked, "Do you feel a responsibility to always keep grinding?" Goggins' answer, 100%. I would have retired a long time ago, but I receive emails from people saying, "Because of you, I ran 10 miles." When I read those emails, it feels like people are living through me. There's a guy named Tommy who wrote to me saying, "You saved my life." Perform without purpose and discipline. This is Goggins' most important concept, which he explained in detail. What perform without purpose means. Most people, they need a purpose, a 5K race, a 10K race, marathon training. Goggins' approach. I've been performing without purpose for 20 years. Nowadays, I wake up and work because if I don't, I will hate myself for the entire day. Real example. Sometimes I stare at my shoes for half an hour, telling myself, put those ing shoes on. And then I get up and start running. The golden carrot concept. We are all chasing the golden carrot, money, family, success. But we forget that the real purpose is ourselves. Waking up every day and doing the work, no matter how bad your life is. That is the real test. The dungeon moment. If you learn to work during the worst phase of life, the dungeon, then when the golden carrot arrives, you will be ready. But most people surrender while still in the dungeon. Goggins' knees, the X-ray and surgery reality. Now we come to the most shocking part, the reality of Goggins' knees. The X-ray reality. Joe Rogan said, "When I saw the X-ray of Goggins' knee, I was shocked. There was absolutely no space between the femur and tibia. It was completely bone on bone." Doctor's reaction. The doctor said, "I don't understand how you can even walk with this, let alone run." Surgery details. First surgery, cleanup. In 2020, a meniscus cleanup surgery. The doctor's tools actually broke. Meniscus miracle. The doctor said, "I've never seen a meniscus this hard. The scalpel couldn't cut it." Alignment problem. Goggins was born with poor body alignment. All the pressure was on the medial side. HTO surgery, high tibial osteotomy. The tibia was cut. A wedge was inserted to shift pressure to the lateral side. A metal plate was installed, which still irritates him. Recovery pain. For 6 months, I couldn't do anything. Every day, my knee had to be drained. I thought I would never be able to run again. The painful childhood story. Now listen to the childhood story of Goggins that breaks your heart. Abuse by father. My father used to beat me and my mother. I remember him saying, "I brought this belt from Texas, all the way from Texas, just to beat you." Mother's humiliation. My mother had never been hit before. She came from a family where abuse didn't exist. Then my father turned her life into hell. Courage at age 7. I was 7 or 8 years old when I started fighting my father. He was 220 pounds, and I was a small child. But I fought him to protect my mother. Mother's bad decisions. After my father was murdered, my mother was completely broken. Then she married a prisoner. That prisoner had choked a woman to death over drugs. Air Force graduation pain. At my Air Force graduation, my new stepfather came for the first time, the same murderer prisoner. During boot camp, I kept thinking my mother was alone with him. Navy SEALs and backstabbing. Goggins openly talked about jealousy and backstabbing inside the SEAL teams. SEAL Team 6-member. A SEAL Team 6-member started making YouTube videos against me. He said I was dishonorably discharged, that I refused to go into combat, and that I was never deployed. What was the truth? Deployments: Iraq and Guam, 2 deployments. Combat medal: received a medal in Iraq. Heart surgeries: 2 heart surgeries, limited further deployments. Goggins analysis. I studied this guy. I could have sued him, but I chose not to ruin his business. I know that anyone who becomes a hater is never doing better than you. Crabs in a bucket mentality. There is a crabs in a bucket mentality in the SEAL teams. People want you to stay at their level and not move ahead. The front load concept. I front loaded my life. By age 47, I've done so much that no matter what happens now, I am mentally prepared. Ultra running and knowledge gathering. Goggins explained how he gathers knowledge through ultra running. Moab 240 race. Running continuously for 62 hours gives knowledge equivalent to 7 years of life. I treat it as a mental laboratory. Snapshot technique. I take mental snapshots. When I'm in extreme situations, I tell myself, this is valuable knowledge, save it. Studying darkness. I study darkness. Everyone is happy in the light. There are no answers there. Real answers are found in darkness. Writing process. After every run, I come home and write everything down. My book was written on scratch papers. Cold plunge and discipline. Joe Rogan talked about cold plunges, and Goggins shared his perspective on discipline. Joe Rogan's new routine. I now wake up and go straight into a cold plunge. 40-degree water, ice floating. 3 minutes in the cold plunge, then a workout. Goggins' cold water experience. In Navy SEAL training, dreams die in cold water. That's where your character is tested. Discipline changes DNA. Discipline is the one thing that can change your DNA. No matter how bad your situation is, discipline can transform you. Haters and social media. Goggins shared his experience with social media and haters. Social media is the devil. In 2013, when I joined social media, I told everyone it was the devil. And in reality, it truly is. Emotional story: suicide victim. A boy's parents emailed me saying their son was being bullied at school. I checked the email 2 to 3 months later and called them. I found out the boy had committed suicide. Sense of responsibility. After that, I realized people take hope through me. That's why I always speak the truth and give a positive message. Rule about haters. You will never find a hater in life who is doing better than you. Anyone who criticizes you will always be below you. Final message and lessons. In the final part, Goggins shared his life lessons. Key lessons. Failure is an attempt. I call failure an attempt. Trying is what matters. Vulnerability is strength. The more vulnerable you are, the more people can help you. Morning meetings. Wake up and have a meeting with yourself. What mistake did I make today? And how can I be better tomorrow? Self-talk. Talk harshly to yourself. You gained weight today, now control it. The American Dream example. I am a living example of the American Dream. I've been struggling since the age of 9. I achieved everything on my own. Final message. If I can do this, you can too. Just ask yourself one question. Can I be better today? and then act on it. Goodbye, friends.